are on the road, you can have 20 or 30 people on the exterior decks. You're not going to hear them talking. The tolerances, every connection in the home is so incredibly precise. You basically have a soundproof space. Now, if you were here in the fall or the winter and you came from the outside to the inside, the very first thing I hope you would notice is your feet would be much warmer. Mies designs the home and he elevates our home above the prairie in the middle of the Midwest. We have violent winter winds. We're standing on stone. We have lightweight concrete underneath us. Our floors are going to get exceptionally cold. Certainly, to heat the home, to create a barrier, Mies is going to install radiant floor heat. So we have copper tubing running the entire length and width of the interior of the home. Again, the Roman travertine in the unfinished state is very porous. It easily allows heat to emanate up through the floor. That helps circulate that air and to decrease any frosting and condensation to the interior glass walls. A unique system is designed. There's a fan in the core that emits air. The air travels above the ceiling. You can get up close to any single wall in this home and look between the traverse rod for the curtain and the mullion for the glass, and you're going to see a slit in the ceiling. That slit runs around the entire perimeter of the home and is one continuous forced air duct. So the air is constantly being swept along the interior glass walls, decreasing any frosting and condensation to the home. Our ceiling is a hand-plastered ceiling over metal lathing with less than 2 inches from the ductwork. Now, as I mentioned, when Dr. Farnsworth is here, she does not keep the home in any form of a Miesian style. When Peter purchases a home, he wants to be as Miesian as absolutely possible. Unfortunately, Mies will pass away about 2 years prior to his final acquisition, so he decides he's going to do the next best thing. He is going to hire a prominent Chicago architect by the name of Dirk Lohan. Dirk Lohan is Mies van der Rohe's grandson. He studied under his grandfather. He took care of his grandfather in his later age, so whom better to help interpret the space than Mies's grandson? So to complete the home for Lord Palumbo, Dirk is going to have to design 4 pieces of furniture for exclusive use in this home to mimic furniture Mies might have designed had Mies been given the opportunity to complete our project. So our dining room table, the desk, the foot locker, and a bed at the other end of the home are designed by Dirk to mimic his grandfather. Our dining room table is simply an exact replica of the dining room table Mies designs for his own apartment in Chicago. His grandson simply replicates that table here. In keeping with the lines of the Farnsworth, it's a simple rectilinear plane without any ornamentation. The plane is floated above the floor on simple chrome legs, much like the home floats above the prairie on simple white pillars. This concept is carried into the desk. All the drawers and bottom portions are removed. Another set of planes are floated. And then in keeping with detailing like his grandfather, the width of the wood here on the desk is the same width of the wood here at the end of the core. This desk has cantilevers designed into it because his grandfather designed cantilevers into the home. The rest of our furnishings in the home are our original Miesian. These are standard MR chairs with a corseted back and seat. At the end of the core, 2 round metal Bruneaus. At the desk, a flat metal Bruneau. Both of these were originally designed for the Villa Tugendhat in the Czech Republic, Mies's finest piece of modern residential architecture before emigrating to the States. The flat metal Bruneau not only being the choice of Mies for his own desk chair, but the choice of Philip Johnson to use as a dining room chair in the Four Seasons restaurant, the Seeker building no design in New York. On our dining room table, a pair of sketchbooks, one on the left by Sir Anthony Carl, one on the right by Peter Blake. The Palumbos had 3 Carls on this property. They owned 2 Blakes as well. Peter's correspondence desk, this is way before computers and email. Peter will come to the quiet of the Farnsworth to converse between here and his businesses in Great Britain. He will surround himself with familiar photographs. You will notice many members of the British royal family. Peter is an extremely close friend of the family, a close confidant to the late Princess Diana, and a godfather to Princess Beatrice. Standing next to the desk is the Dan Flavin, originally designed in 1968, purchased for the Farnsworth in 1972. That is one of a series. The others, one resides in MoMA and the other resides in the Tate Gallery. The Miesian recliner, a rather interesting piece of furniture. Mies designed the recliner in 1943, but the recliner doesn't go into production until about 2 years after he passes away. The unique aspect of the recliner is that this is actually a 2-piece unit. You have a tubular steel bottom that's supplying support to the chaise. You then have a series of hooks on the chaise which allows for its adjustment. Now this is a very early version of the chaise, so there are only 2 adjustable hooks to it. The larger, or the newer versions would all have 3 adjustable hooks. Our walls are 9 foot 3 inches in height, or 10 foot 6 inches in width, of hand-polished quarter-inch sheet glass. Now currently, some of our walls have an interior protective film that's creating this crease down the center, and that's because the home currently has 4 different types of walls in it. This is an original wall to the home. This is polished plate glass. This is a generation of glass coming after that, known as float glass. So plate glass and float glass are no longer manufactured in these massive sizes, because if they break, they're going to break in huge, dangerous shards. We now use what's known as tempered glass. The third wall is a piece of tempered glass. That is the wall Peter replaced, but unfortunately it was replaced with a rather poor piece of tempered glass. Directly behind you, one of our brand new walls, manufactured for us by a company out of northern Canada, producing a new process to remove as much rippling as possible from the tempering process. They will produce the new 4 walls that are needed to complete the home due to cracks in our walls. We're going to move into the living room area. As we do that, we're going to find a Barcelona stool, a Barcelona day bed. The day bed actually was originally in Peter's New York apartment, but he shipped it for use at the Farnsworth. A Barcelona stool and a Barcelona coffee table. Now, contrary to what you may have heard or read, there has never been a Barcelona chair in the Farnsworth. The Farnsworth features extremely rare Tugendats, again designed exclusively for the villa Tugendat. Here Mies has taken the square-shaped profile of a Barcelona and he's created an S-shaped profile. He's removed the stringent X-cross legs of the Barcelonas and he's replaced it with a cantilevered bottom. So unlike the extremely stoic nature of the Barcelona chair, the Tugendats were designed to have an incredible rock to give to the Now, there are many arguments between me and Dr. Farnsworth over the development of this home, but the biggest argument is storage. You see, Dr. Farnsworth feels there's not enough storage in our home. He said, Madam, you're not being fair to me. I provided lots of storage in this home. It's in the kitchen. Dr. Farnsworth said that women don't put clothes in kitchens. Women put clothes in closets and armoires. You want me to store my clothes in the kitchen. Mies did suggest a few hooks for the back of the bathroom door. That was not an answer she was looking for. So begrudgingly, the wardrobe is designed. Originally designed, the wardrobe is 5 feet in height, it's 12 feet in length, it's a little over 2 feet in width. At least it's 5 foot in height, most people would see across the wardrobe. Dr. Farnsworth is 6 feet tall. She insists her wardrobe be elevated to a height of 6 feet. Now at 6 feet in height, 12 feet in length, it's not so much a wardrobe, it's kind of a new wall inside our home. The other question of storage comes in because people see these and they think, well, there's lots of storage in this home, so what's the issue with storage? But these aren't cabinets. This is a design detail by Mies to express positive and negative space. Mies is going to use the positive, negative aspect throughout the entire home. He's going to create a very large negative area here underneath the core. This area is designed for the storage of suitcases and firewood so they can be pushed out of the traffic pattern and no one would end up tripping over them. As originally designed, we don't even have a hearth to the fireplace. The basket sat directly on the stone floor in true minimalistic style. You burned your wood and it just fell down onto the travertine pavers. But by creating this negative space, utilizing the vertical pieces of travertine, you can see in a horizontal piece that's suspended underneath the core, your negative eventually must return to a positive. In our case, that positive is going to be the countertop I'm going to show you in the bathroom. Mies has simply transposed the same space for dual purposes. The negative void allows for the storage. The negative then returns to a positive, again in our case, the countertop to the bathroom. Bringing the upper core into the positive, you've left negative space behind it. Again, in our case, the area above the countertop where the mirror is hung in the bathroom. And then again, try to remove that hearth from your vision. Notice that Mies left a reveal along the top of the core, so the core isn't permanently affixed by perhaps a piece of furniture we could move around. Their use of the reveal, the positive aspect, the removal of the hearth. Originally, Mies does nothing more than to create the illusions that you were building a small campfire in the middle of your living room floor, and your campfire has no discernible connection to the exterior of your home. Although beautiful in its original presentation, Lord Plumbo asked Dirk to design the hearth because when you open the door of the window, the ashes actually blew all over the inside of the house. So, the interior core is made of marine grade plywood with an extremely rare Primavera veneer. Primavera only grows in Central America. This is one of the rarest and most expensive woods you will encounter. Mies has chosen the wood for the extremely tight linear grains and the lack of any imperfections. Of the $500,000 restoration by Lord Colombo, the vast majority of that was in the procurement and the replacement of the Primavera veneers for the core of the home. We're going to move down toward our eastern elevation, down by our wardrobe.
¿Qué te parece? Está mejor que la otra. Ay, perdón. ¿De dónde viene?
De Guadalajara. ¿Ustedes?
So, you will notice that the wardrobe is made of teak. That's a redder, more honey-colored type of wood. You also see the same raised negative panel effect that Mies achieved in the living room, it achieves again on the wardrobe. Now, there are two distinct reasons for why the wardrobe is red. One, by the time the wardrobe comes into existence, Edith is never going to approve of the purchase of more Primavera to clad this wardrobe. And two, Mies knows something very unique about Primavera. Unlike most woods, that as they get exposed to light will bleach and lighten over time, Primavera actually will dark and enrich itself over time. So Mies knew that one day the core was going to patina to match the wardrobe. That is why all the furnishings that were designed by Dirk were made of teak, because when Dirk came to the home for Lord Colombo, the core had already patinaed to the darker color. You see the core in this blonde state because all of the veneers are brand new from 1996. This is going to take us another 20 or 30 years for the core to once again patina to match the furnishings to the home. But of course, Mies isn't just going to do a wardrobe, that would be boring. So he decides Edith needs her own entertainment system. So Edith, once open, is going to get an AM/FM stereo receiver. She's going to get a phonograph player. She's going to get storage for her music down below. Our upper cabinet will expose a unidirectional speaker, so the sound is going to flood directly out the listener. As originally designed to close the upper cabinet, that redirects it to a speaker built into the top of the cabinet, creating omnidirectional sound, spreading it a little more evenly throughout the home. We do have to go behind our wardrobe, so we'll go around. And Edith is finally going to get her closet. She's not only going to get a closet, she's going to get a custom chrome closet rod, a shoe rack, places for dogs and dogs. At this end, and 6 beautiful hand-done wooden drawers for her smaller or more intimate use.
So sorry.
So, here at the eastern edge of the home, these are the hopper windows. They are the only windows to the home. You open those up, they will fold in at a 45-degree angle. The front doors are floor to ceiling. The upper porch originally in screen. This was a cross breeze. It was intended to try and cool this home in the spring and summer. As you turn around and look back at the core, you see the same raised panel effect that Mies achieved in the living room. He achieves again on the end of the core. Now he's able to do that here by using an incredibly designed hinge. Now when Dr. Farnsworth lived here, this was considered her private bathroom. When the Colombos lived here, it was then considered Lady Hyatt's bathroom. To achieve the raised panel effect, Mies is going to use the soft hinge on the door. The hinge is designed so it will hide inside of the door jamb and inside of the door, so that when the door is closed, the hinge will remove itself from sight on both interior and exterior, painting our interior door white so that when it's closed, it's not a small white panel bathroom and a big brown door. The door is yet just one of the other white panels inside of the bathroom, and this creates an illusion it's slightly larger than it is. And then with the use of the hinge, taking the width of this piece of wood, yet creating one more illusion that the door appears to be no deeper than the panels which are residing on either side of the door. Our bathrooms are marine grade plywood, marine grade paint, basically the bottom of a boat. Moisture is really not a problem. When you come in, please notice the countertop. This countertop is the positive aspect of that negative storage I showed you in the living room. This piece of travertine is just the back side of the piece of travertine you're seeing exposed in the living room. Please go ahead in a few at a time. It's not excessively large. All of the hardware and fixtures in our home are original to our home, but they are not indicative of this home. They could have been purchased for any construction in the States in the 50s. However, me and Dr. Farnsworth do specifically choose them for use in this home. I will provide a caveat, that is the latrine in the bathroom. We were unable to repair the original. So this is by the same manufacturer as the original. It is a low profile, as was the original, but that is not the original latrine to our home.
Voy a poner esto. Oh, no. Quiero grabar. Please. Voy a grabar aquí. Si quieren ver, puedo grabar esto.
The bed here, again designed by Dirk. This is to mimic the floating platform. Dr. Farnsworth really never kept a bed in the home at 6 feet tall. She had a rather bad lower back. Originally, she had a mattress on the stone floor. Eventually, she will then upgrade to a box spring and a mattress, but that's the extent of any bed he has ever kept in the home. Again, the bed is designed specifically just to complete the suite for large level. As you walk throughout our home, you may see little silver discs on the floor. There's one exposed here in the corner. These are the outlets to the home. Now, Mies can't place the outlets on the exterior walls. They're all made of glass. Mies doesn't want to place them on the floor because he constantly would have had cords running across the floor. You may or may not notice, Mies removes all interior lighting from our space. Our home can only be lit with lamps. The reasoning for this is if you're in a glass enclosed space at night, it's lit from above, you go to look out, the glass becomes almost black and you can hardly see out. But it's quite easy for everyone on the outside to see in. So to decrease this, you remove all overhead lighting. You then insist on task or lamp lighting. Now the majority of the light will shine down. The softer ambient light will fill the space, and that will greatly decrease the effect of any overhead lighting on glass walls in the evening hours. When you're ready, we'll move into the kitchen. The kitchen is the narrowest point in the home at only 4 feet in width. Please go ahead. Everyone move down to the edge of the kitchen so you can get everyone in.
Son medidores.
¿Un medidor? ¿Medidor de qué?
Láser.
Ah, para las medidas de los espacios.
Ujú.
Marca la limpieza.
Y sí, me lo dan pies y pulgadas, pero no sé, dice de que son 3 pies. Y lo puse y sí, daban 3 pies y las medidas están. ¿Usted también está aquí?
Sí, y ella y otra de mis hijas también.
Ah, en el TEC de Monterrey.
¿En Monterrey?
¿Ustedes?
Now you'll notice that even by today's standards, there is an extensive amount of storage in the kitchen, especially in a one-room home for a single individual. This is the storage Mies had designed for the home. So a portion of these cabinets were designed for food and kitchen items. The other portion was designed for the storage of clothing and linen. But as I mentioned, he has simply refused to ever put clothes in the kitchen.
Para la whisquitas.
Our lower set of cabinets are made by St. Charles Cabinet Company. These were originally produced about 35 miles northeast of here. These are very indicative of construction in the States in the 50s. Metal drawers, metal front, white enamel, chrome pull. You'd have found this in just about any newer construction in the States in the 50s. As a matter of fact, the 860, 880 Lakeshore apartments all originally feature lower and upper St. Charles cabinets. So what's unique to the kitchen? Well, that's actually our countertop. Although stainless steel is a very popular choice in countertops these days, in 1950, this is simply unheard of. Mies will go to LK, which at that time was a subsidiary of the St. Charles Cabinet Company. He's going to ask him for a piece of stainless steel continuously molded 17 feet in length. But then he's going to point out the backsplash you normally glue onto the countertop later. That's not acceptable. The backsplash must be of a continuous contour to the counter. And I know normally you cut a hole out and drop another stainless steel sink in, but again, that's not appropriate. The counter and the sink must be of one flow. Our slant that returns the water to the sink, the lip that keeps the water from flowing over the side, the integration of the range. In 1950, at 17 feet in length, this was the longest continuous sheet of molded stainless steel manufactured at that point. It is also a direct result of Mises' insistence on the continuous stainless steel, that not long after LK will start to produce all the stainless steel furniture we now see in restaurants and fast food restaurants around the world, is a result of Mises' insistence on the continuous sheet of stainless steel. Mises would design only one fixture in the home, and that's a lighting fixture you see here, and that lighting fixture only had one purpose, and that was illuminating that stainless steel countertop. And it also puts Mises about 20 years ahead in under-cabinet lighting. Originally designed to our home, this is a refrigerator, this is a refrigerator, this is a dishwasher, and I have a second oven here. When Peter had to do the repairs to the home, he took an opportunity to upgrade the appliances that were very old and inefficient. So the home now features a sub-zero freezer, a sub-zero refrigerator, the dishwasher and the second oven are removed because replacement parts can't be located, and then a custom designed St. Charles cabinet to fill the exact space left from the removal of the dishwasher. As I mentioned, our core does patina with age. To give you a very clear example of that, this is a piece of veneer from the original core of the home, which you notice is more indicative of the decolorization of the furniture. Again, this is going to take us another 20 to 30 years for the core to once again patina to match the core that was here when the furnishings were designed. We're going to go ahead and move back to our western elevation. Again, if you turn around and go back
con la inmobiliaria. O sea, pero los originales, pero fíjate, es una pieza.
Es una pieza. Me encantó esta luz. En la cocina tengo todo.
I do not have a basement, and I do not have any closets. So as I mentioned, the bathroom at the other end of the home was considered Dr. Farnsworth's private bathroom. You might have noticed there's really no storage in the bathrooms. There's no place to put away cosmetics or personal items. The concept is that that is her personal bathroom. No one should be using Edith's bathroom other than Edith. If she entertains, a bathroom is provided here at the front end of the home for her guests, so there is simply no reason to worry about storage. Edith will close her door. Nobody else has to look at it. Now, the guest bathroom, or during the Columbo's tenure, Peter's bathroom, this bathroom is basically identical to Dr. Farnsworth, except in this bathroom, Mises has removed the bathtub, and he's designed a sunken shower. The sunken shower was necessary because Mises finds that he needs
Este es el baño público y este es el baño de la doctora.
Mises needs to hide a door in the shower, because the door is how you access our mechanics.
What the?
So anything in here that's white, the downspout that drains the roof, copper tubing, the entire back of the fireplace. Just 1 second. This is all original to the home. The rest of the utilities were replaced in '96. If you come in, be very careful of the step in the floor. If you want to photograph the core, please come up and just photograph the core. Don't photograph the rest of the bathroom, but you may photograph the core. You're welcome. Please go ahead and get a few at a time. It's not excessively large.
Dice que no se puede tomar foto al baño, pero sí le podemos tomar foto al cuarto de máquinas. Mis zapatos. no hay ni una fracción de...
And it's a very great pleasure.
No es de que no queda uno octavo, no queda un cuarto, todo está...
Wood, that's the same thing. Wood is made of some water, the paint comes from color. So that's the.
De la mesa, todo,
That way, you
la
don't have
perfección.
moisture build up from the shower.
¿Qué decía?
or anything like that.
Que eso está en los detalles.
El casino,
The
¿no?
door is not an issue
Casi nada.
because it's just the same material as the rest of the shower, just has a heat. So there's really no difference. Okay, I just have a few more things to point out before we finish. Over here, I did point out the boathouse already. Directly at the top of the hill here are plateaus. This is the in-ground swimming pool. It's an excellent placement by landing so that from here you have no concept that there's a pool, but from the pool, an incredible view of your home. To the right of that, a garage that Edith will install. Peter will clad it in wood so it blends in with the surroundings. A wildflower path just on the other side of this tree line, and tennis courts to the home. Again, all of the amenities are very close to the home, yet designed to be shielded from any direct competition with the home itself. The original entrance to the home was at the top of the hill. There was a gravel construction road stretching through the back of the field, ending on the east side of the planting. Now, we should have Dr. Farnsworth who west construction was finished to remove the gravel from the
Puedo tomar foto del baño, lo siento.
field in every weather condition to get to her own home, and Edith had no intention of doing that. Edith will leave the gravel driveway during her entire tenure. When the Plumbos purchased the property, they didn't like the fact that when you enter the property, you could immediately see the home. So working with Lining Roper, a new gate's installed a quarter-mile down the road, a dramatic powered entrance. You wind underneath an alizé that alternates yellow and red in the fall. It's not until you twist your way down and park and make your way across a small I-paved bridge our home fully comes into view. And then adding the front walkway, the guests are now instructed to enter the home from the front instead of from the back. I would like to thank everyone for coming out today. It is without your generous donations that we are able to protect this home. Unlike other homes in the trust portfolio, we didn't come with an endowment. So the dollars you spent here go to the care and maintenance of our home. I personally like to thank my guests for taking the time to wind their way through the cornfields of Northern Illinois to find the town of Plano in which this masterpiece sits. I know that that can't always be easy. I also know that some of you come from very great distances, and I do appreciate that you have taken the time to come all the way out here to view our home. You have until 3:30 on our property. You may walk up to the boathouse, you may walk to the swimming pool, you may walk up to the tennis courts. The only thing I'm going to ask is by 10 minutes after 12, please be done with frontal photographs so that when the next group approaches, no one's in front of the home. You may be at any other point at the home at that time. I just would like to have a free front for everyone else. Otherwise, ladies and gentlemen, be very careful, travel very safe wherever you're going next. Thank you for your time and attention today. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.